Oh, hello out there. It's me again. We are coming along on this ride. This is page, let's see, what page is this? 10. This is page 10 in part 4. Yay! um, what am I doing? There. I think I was really hoping to have this one done by the end of the month. But it's sort of like as I kind of expected when I started this. Um, when I thought this one might go longer. I think the idea I had at the end of the last part um, sort of almost guaranteed that this is going to 5 parts instead of 4. And I think while I've been working on like the previous 8 pages, I think in my head I was really trying to compress this one, compress like the rest of the story into this part. Um, Let me get this down first. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Uh, Out with us last night. Oops, question mark. Control Z will fix that. Let's see if I can get this cleanly. Yes. So it's like one of those things where I'm really kind of fighting with myself, where I want to wrap this up in this part. But in the back of my head, I know it's going to feel awful rushed if I do. And in the back of my head, I know that this will go to 5 parts comfortably without it feeling dragged out. So it's like it's I'm still trying to get used to the idea that this is going to go 5 parts and that this isn't going to be completed until next month, even though like I think practically I've already made that decision. And it's not that I've added a lot to this. I think there's like a lot of revelations that are still to come that I've always had in mind. And I think having Francis and, let me save this, and Brody kidnapped kind of stretches those revelations out a little bit more. Um, Allows me to space them a little better instead of, instead of like having 5 books worth of mystery dropped in your lap in like one page. I get to have Francis locked in the room, sort of learning something new every time we cut back to him. Let's see. There we go. Oh, and let's do this. Layer 2. Image size. Sort of in this apartment, these pictures are rendering relatively quickly. So it's like, as you've seen with this first picture, it's done when I've got the text and the bubble finished, and not invert, edit, cut, and it's not leaving like extra time to sit and do the frame on the previous picture. So when I'm working with sets like this that render quickly, I'm throwing in the little border before I go back and set up the next image to render. And then this is basically talking head scene. Uh, hmm. We go 25. Edit, paste as new layer. Transform. Come on. Hmm. Let's see. Thinks it was Mystery Woman. Took them. And of course they're wrong, but of course this is wrong. In the previous page where we see the previous pages where I saw the two of them in that room, or where the two of them were in that room, and Kendall reveals that they're only getting revenge against Brody because if you remember, he was taken out when he snuck into the lab. So it's the implication is that they figured out he was lying about why he was willing to work with them, and that they're sort of holding him to get back at him, plus to keep him from snitching on them, whatever, all that sort of thing. Save. Yep, see, here's my picture. See, with this set, like if you've been watching other videos, you remember how these are take how some of these, like especially with the teddy bear, the pair of teddy bear stories, these are taking like 5 minutes up. In here, I'm getting them in like about 2.5 minutes. Even on that street in the big fight scene, they were taking um, closer to 5 minutes. Open his layers. 34. Okay, right here. And it's like, I've committed myself here to doing a fifth part, and I really want to. I'm like, in my head, I really want to move on to burn, burn pit. I really wanted to move on to something different. Um, I know I keep interrupting for different projects. Did it cut? Like I did. Like I think I put this aside to work on Teddy Bear, and I think did I put? I can't remember off the top of my head if I did Showtime, Shrimp at the House Showtime. Save. It's like still it feels almost like a weight that you're stuck with. But it's been such a huge project. You're kind of ready to move on. At the same time, I think there's also like that thing that there's sort of that feeling that like you've been working on it for so long that you're almost afraid somewhere in the back of your head you're almost afraid to have it end, which is probably where like the constant procrastination comes in, and I just forgot what number this was. Okay, so we're going to 26. But I've been thinking, and I'll hold that thought so I don't screw this up. Paste as new layer, transform, rotate. Yeah, there we go. I've been almost thinking, because piece of me has wanted to do some modeling videos. Um, 3D modeling videos, that is. um, Before I go flattening that, let me see if I can. Let me see what this will look like. No. Oh, actually, no, I don't like that. I liked it better that way. Okay. Show me creating some of these models in sort of like an inspiration, like an inspiration, how like you two could do it. It's not as like difficult and imposing, as it like seemed to me as a newbie. Um, ah, okay, let's. I know I need to be cutting here. And I've actually I think I've mentioned it before too, that I've got a couple sitting in my folder that I've never posted because they just seem so random. There doesn't seem to be any like logical process going from one video to another. Um, so I've been thinking. Let's see, there we go. That when it comes time to doing the starting burn pit, um, it's sort of like any other project. I'll probably spend like 2 weeks creating the sets before actually getting to work on creating, on the book itself. The invert. Sort of, I've been thinking that when I go modeling a house for the main character, um, that I think I'll film the process like I'm doing now with the pages, and I don't want current. And sort of posting the process, for you guys to see what a project it is to create some of these sets. And kind of like show you that you could be that it's like something all of you could do too if you wanted to. Oh God, excuse me. Hmm. Actually, no, I don't want that bubble. I want this one. But I think it's gonna, but like if I do, it's gonna be it's going to involve a lot more editing than I do with these videos, where I'll usually just show you the full process from start to finish. Whereas, if I do end up um, filming the creation of a house, I can't imagine. Let's see. Um, I grabbed that one. I think I want this one instead. Let's go Control C. Edit, paste as. Okay, delete that one. Because it's a rather long project, it's going to be one that gets edited. I'm probably looking at editing it, posting it in pieces, and maybe try and get try and like maybe reorganize it into something a little more coherent, because it's sort of like my approach to um, sort of working out the story, where a lot of it is just organic on the spot. I don't really go into it with a huge plan. Uh, Control C. So it's usually like the first hour or two when I sit down with the blank program. You know what? I have a feeling this is going to be going transform. I might as well just do it now, like that. There we go. I usually sort of mess around with program until I come up with a house design that like feels right, and then I kind of model from there. It does. Okay, oh, that's right. I think she's got more complex hair to render, but it's still like not even 4 minutes. So, but come on, there we go. Um, and I think we did this here, right? Edit, cut. Hmm. I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna reset this transform. Yeah, that's better. And we'll bring you down. Yeah, it's usually like I'll create a room and make another one, and then try and move them around until I figure out the kind of layout I want. And then sometimes I'll end up like remodeling it from scratch, because it's easier than trying to make the two rooms fit into one. Let's cut that one. Paste as new layer. file. Let's save. Now I need you. Um, I think his eyes are slightly. And let's see. Hmm. Da, da, da. That way, kind of when I sort of go into a content drought while getting the set created. Let's see. Ah, to worry about that. Ah, da, 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 da. Hmm. How do I get this? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna resize this bubble and then figure out. Yeah, and this is like again another one where I'm kind of quiet. Like again, I'm sort of. Like, I guess I didn't really realize I'm like not getting a full night's sleep, so to speak. So it's like I'm not really sleep deprived, but I am operating on a little bit of a sleep deficit. And that's just kind of got me tired. I thought this was a good point. I was watching a good point to record, I should say. Da, 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 da. Maybe if I cut it here. Yeah, okay, that kind of works. Or actually, if I take this one and then bring this back. No. Okay. Oops. Okay, that's good. It's like I had the Western channel on for background noise while working on the last page, and the movie was just like it struck me how ridiculous it was. It's like the standard. The cavalry is trying to protect a wagon train from the from the marauding Indians, and it's like usually westerns take place like a good 10 to 20 years after the Civil War. And it's like in the Civil War, we were using some rather brutal weaponry. So it's like where is this stuff when they're out fighting Indians in the West in these movies? Like, okay, we the natives are getting restless out there, and we've got to get this wagon train west. Whoops. Um, what am I doing? God. Okay, Major, I'll get the Gatling gun and the cannons, and we'll take care. We'll take care of whatever threat comes our way. Like, nah, Lieutenant. Just bring those 50-year-old rifles that are sitting in the storeroom. That oughta take care of it. That'll get us through. And then it's like every time the Indians attack, I'm just sitting imagining the thought process that went, oops. The thought process that went on back in their village. Like, okay, Smoking Eagle, we're gonna raid the wagon. You want to raid the wagon train and like stop these white people from like encroaching on our lands? I'll, I'll get the rifles we've been buying and stockpiling and distribute them to all the Braves. Like, no, no. We've got plenty of bows and arrows. Those will be good enough. Yep. And I just tied this rock to the end of this stick. We're good to go. Who needs rifles? Oh, shoot. There we go. Um, oh my god. No, we don't need the rifles. We got bows and arrows and rocks on sticks. That's good enough for us. Like, what a ridiculous movie. A. It's gonna be A because I gotta take out outdoor. Um, okay. Let's render that. And I can come over here and grab Control C on that one. It's so fucking ridiculous. It was like I was going to turn it off earlier and just ended up distracted. and just got distracted doing something else. And by the time I came back to work on this page, the movie was over anyway. So yeah, you know what? Let's give period and make this like we did the goons. Okay. Control C. Edit. Paste as new. Ah. Undo. Edit. Paste as. Let's try this again. New layer. Merge down. And of course, any military movie from like the 60s and earlier is ridiculous anyway because all the soldiers are all played by like people who look like they're in their 40s and 50s. Because our military doesn't enlist like 18-year-olds or anything like that. We wouldn't want it to be realistic. Okay, now let's see. This is ground and outdoor. I don't need to take off furniture. Floor, the apartment. Oh yeah, I do need to take out furniture. Furniture, okay. And then let's put Rusty into this one. Did I? Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be B. Open. But then again, back then, I think we need to save this back. Back then, like, everybody looked a good 20 or 30 years older than they would now at the same age. So, like, all these, like, 40 and 50-year-olds were probably actually 30 somethings, which is still, like, unrealistically old. Maybe for, like, the advanced officers or something, or like the higher up NCOs. This one's actually going to take probably a minute or so. Yeah, but like all the privates should be played by. They should get like the youngest looking actors they can find to play like the privates or or even the corporals. And let's save. Open as layers. This is B. Whoops. Come on. There we go. And let's go filter, blur. And I know I've just been sticking to 1.5. Let's go a little bit more. I think because this window is a little clearer, 5 is good. Okay. God, file. Export as. Export. Yay! But coming back to where I started here, I think even though I'm now like pushing this to 5 parts and putting off the completion date until early next month. Let's go layer. I'm still like hoping to push for this part to be done in the next few days, which means I'm gonna have to hustle at the rate I'm going. I've been working on this story now. This is only page 10. I'm not even halfway through this part yet. Oh my god. And since I forgot to paste the remains of the black layer, I'll have to add another one. Edit. Cut. And there's my little black border. Let's go file, save, image, flatten, and file, export. I need JPEG, not PNG. There's 10, and export. We'll dump these into 4. And let's see our page here. You mean the little guys? Corey's little brother and the guy from the other building who was supposed to go out with us last night? Yeah, Corey thinks those mystery women took them. He thinks they're trying to get back at us for ruining their plans. If they are, then they'll come after Tamara. You're not safe. Yeah, no, the implication is that he's kind of shifting his, it doesn't sound like, but the idea is that he's sort of shifting who he's talking to mid-speech there. I can't imagine anywhere safer than right here with you, Rusty. Yeah, maybe you don't have to worry about that. Corey says they were using that office building again before they moved on. If they're reusing their old hideouts, then maybe you and I already know where they are. That stupid warehouse? Why, we can go take them out like we did the goons, and I don't have to worry about them coming in for Tam next. And that is page 10. I know that one went fairly quickly. Not sure when I'll see you guys next, but because I just don't really seem too inclined to. I think by the time I get to thinking about recording a video, I'm like, here we are, 10 pages into the book. Let's open the next page. There we go, the guide. Close that one. But yeah, so that was page 10, and I will see you next time.